Alright everyone, welcome to Documenting My Journey, episode 10. I'm a growth lead at Pair. I manage all the growth marketing inside a DTC brand called Pair. I'm growing this to $10 million a year. I've already grown this to 7 figures. And our big goal is to grow this to 10 million and beyond. And whilst building this, I just want to document my journey, share my learnings. I'm not an expert. I'm just a regular guy, just marketing guy, learning things on the way and just sharing, and also just helps me with my retaining information as well. So I haven't done this in a while. I apologize. It's actually more on my part as well. But I'll try to be raw as possible. And yeah, here we go. So media buying wise, I have been 90% responsible for that. Actually 100% until we bring on a new team member. I have currently 3 new team members. Looking back, never hire 3 new team members at once. And that gives you a lot of stress. But regardless, media buying, that's being handed off one by one. I'm still managing 90%, I would say, but eventually I see this being offloaded, and I'll be more focusing on the strategy rather than being in the tools. So in terms of media buying, we're now more structured in testing new creatives, new copy, new headlines, new landers, etc. This is helping me a lot to be organized. Also, it's helping the new team member to learn stuff, to know the process. We are more standardizing the naming conventions, how we graduate winners, learn from the losers of the creative testing. And now, because we have this soft structure in place, it's allowing me more breathing room and think about the process and the structure as well. Number 2 is we have built a creative log, which I'll share later. But now that's been shared across the marketing team. I've called it Pair Media Buying Master Sheet 3.0. There's been version 1, version 2, version 2.5, but I finally built this marketing sheet. Maybe I'll share once it's done. But essentially, this is a master document that contains any relevant information that is necessary for any media buyers. So for example, we have compilations of winning headlines, winning hooks, winning ads, our CAC range, our calculator for doing scenario planning for a particular product launch, budget planning, etc. So rather than having multiple sheets scattered out like multiple G drives, we have standardized one single sheet. And now our email designer, our media buyer, our Google ad buyer, our influencer marketing manager can have this one central sheet so that they can know the product cost, product CAC, product ROAS per product campaign, etc. So that's been helping me a lot, but still in build mode. Number 3, in terms of media buying, we are integrating more soft testing with smaller budget. For example, I remember in the olden days, many years ago, 5 to 7 years ago, dropshippers used to test their creatives, their product with PPE. Even the PPE is not conversion driven. However, it gives you soft metrics that you have more confidence as an ad buyer to graduate them into conversion campaigns, such as optimizing for purchase. So we're integrating this soft testing with traffic campaigns. It used to be PPE before, but now we're doing traffic campaigns, and we have an internal benchmark for each creative with the soft metrics such as CPC, CTR. Again, CPC it doesn't have a strong correlation to purchase, but we want to optimize our creative as much as possible, essentially reduce our cost per session as much as possible, which theoretically will help us with our top line revenue. And we're also introducing minimal viable testing. So we are testing more creators per week instead of testing 3 to 5 new assets, but we're testing more variations as well. One thing I noticed is personally I'm seeing less delta, less data variances with Triple Whale and Facebook Ads Manager, which is quite strange. So we've been relying on Triple Whale to make our decisions, but in terms of purchase volume, purchase CAC as well, like there's only like 10% difference. Again, that might be a huge difference when you're spending 5 figures, 6 figures, but at the moment, in terms of user interface, Facebook ads is much easier. So that's one thing I noticed. So this is one of the sheets in the master media buying sheet. So as you can see, we have our member name, our launch date, our platform, and headline, our thesis. Based on the test, it's very important that we have intention behind our test. And we have this is a soft metric sheet, so we don't have the hard metrics such as purchase, add to cart, landing page view to add to cart rate, etc. But as you can see, we are actually noting down our learnings, and that could be shared across the email team, influencer team as well. So I'm trying to build more of a process behind this, so marketing team doesn't have to come to me for feedback, any insights in the creative testing. So team management, since we hired 3 team members, I realized there's lack of process, lack of training as well. Also, I realized, we have a very big, hairy, audacious goal of hitting 10 million. And I realized sharing the vision that you have as a head of department, as a co-founder, and letting them know and being open that you need their help, and having a shared goal for them personally as well is very important in terms of team management, because that motivation, inspiration that needs to come has to come from the founder and the leader. So that's been my takeaway in terms of team management. And also in terms of process and trainings, recording Looms has been a game changer. So I've been literally spending one-on-one time initially teaching the new team members about email design, influencer marketing, and creative briefing. But now I'm recording myself doing the task so that team members can come in, watch the video again if they're not clear, and also they can ask specific questions regarding the Loom. Whereas our one-on-one sessions, people would forget. I would forget as well. So now our standard process is I need to record the Loom, and now we'll have one-on-ones after they have implemented action items from the Loom video. Whereas at the start it was inverse. So that was my takeaway. In terms of creatives, I had my VA build a customer research file that's been on my list for a while, for months, but now we finally got it done. VA has scraped more than 800 reviews. Now she has filtered out each objection, the reviews based on a particular theme. So price sensitive reviews, lack of feature, durability issues, etc. amongst pair and other competitors in our niche. That gives me a lot of feedback, insights on how we can craft our creative messaging. Because again, in terms of media buying, creative is our targeting, but our message is our targeting as well. So that's actually, how broad targeting works, right? You need to have your creative on point and your messaging on point. So this customer research file will help us a lot. And also it's actually saving us time coming up with new ideas. But now we go to the research file and extract that idea, because end of the day, it's customers that are purchasing the product, not us, and we also tend to have that bias among our products. We have shipped out 10 new creatives. This is to help us to have a surplus, like a bucket full of creatives that is leaking, as in a surplus, so that we don't have any gaps. So for example, if we have tested 10 creatives and we don't have any new creatives for the upcoming 3 to 4 weeks, like the performance will drop, our revenue will drop as well. So we're trying to have that initial batch created first, so we have a constant flow of creatives. And now, because we have 3 new team members, it's very important that we have a review session for our creatives. So every Monday, our theme is review past week's creative. And then the Tuesday, we'll be creating our ad requests. Is it thumbnail change? Is it a body hook change? Is it a thumbnail change? Is it the intro hook change? Is it the new entire creative that needs to be changed? So we're asking these questions: what has worked, what didn't work, and what can be improved. I used to have not much time reviewing, and that's been the downfall of it. But now I have new team members handling email that I used to do, PR pitches that I used to do, influencer pitches that I used to do, media buying, uploading, etc. that I used to do, script building that I used to do. Now I have more time. Now I am spending more time on reviewing. And last one is we're building a big PR video. So thinking around Dollar Shave Club, what Purple Mattress did, but it won't be that scale. We don't have that big budget, but probably we're looking at 5 figures in expenses. So it won't be a small one, but it will be somehow moderate one. If it doesn't work, I think that is okay. It's a net positive campaign. We can push it as brand awareness. And I am noticing this because that this is a net positive outcome, because we have a billboard at our office and it says best stocks ever. We may need to change that because that's been for a year now. But that billboard is on a busy highway. Even though we think it's not direct response, somehow, again, like that's why big brands push a lot of billboards, right? Because they want to be on top of consumers' mind, and people need multiple touch points to feel safe around their purchase. And I think there is that lack of innovation in direct to consumer brands, right? They're only focusing on Facebook and TikTok. And when we see these big brands branching out to other offline medias, that gives a lot of confidence in terms of consumers. So we're doing more of offline stuff. Off digital stuff, I would say, to make our brand positioning better in the market. Crow, so conversion rate optimization. I'll be discussing landers and discounts here. So landers plays a big role. I've mentioned many times, again and again. Now we're spending more time requesting landers. So I've shipped out a bunch of landers this week. We're focusing more on improving the conversion rate. Conversion rate did drop. I'll tell you why later. But essentially, conversion rate dropped because we are no longer offering 20% off on the first purchase. And by the way, I'm looking for a landing page analytics tool. I want to measure page value, conversion rate, and click-through rate as well, scroll depth, and heat map as well. So if you know any good landing page tool, analytics tools, please let me know. So within the landers, we're building out extended PDP and better listicle. So listicle is very proven for us, and now we need to optimize the page value for that lander. So if you're starting out with your landing page, I do recommend starting with Listicle. It's much more easier to ship it out, and you can really get ChatGPT to write the articles for you. Now we're building more templates around the landing page, so we can duplicate that. For example, 7 reasons why Listicle. We have that template ready. Now we can duplicate that into a different avatar, a different pain point, etc., instead of creating everything from scratch. So I really love this quote by Thomas. Spend more time searching for the information that we need than reading, digesting, acting on it. So that's why this is the reason why I'm spending more time on building templates and processes, because I find myself searching for folders that were hidden, but I need it, and I spend 10 to 15 minutes angry about myself not being able to find the folder. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and this should help the whole marketing department. In terms of discounts, last month we have turned off our 20% discounts. That is no longer offered. That was actually eating a bit of our margins, but surprising results once we turned 20% off after is our new CAC, new customer CPA, is lower. I thought 20% discount was incentivizing people to purchase more. So my thesis was that CPA will go up, but AOV will go up, so that the gap between the CAC and the AOV stays the same, but NCPA went lower and AOV went lower. So that was a very strange result. But now we know that AOV needs to go up as long as the NCPA stays pretty much the same. And also playing the long-term game, right? I want Pair to last a long time. It's not a dropshipping brand where people will scale it, to $1 million a month for 1 to 2 years and then shut it off. I just want to build Pair to be a long-term player in the market. I really love this quote by Simon Sinek, is that in the infinite game, there is only one true victory: the ability to continue playing. So I really want to continue playing in this market, in the apparel and fabric market, in the DTC. So we're suffering a little bit in terms of that AOV loss, but it will improve. And in terms of brand value, I think we'll be able to sustain it for longer because we're not training the customers. So this was my thoughts by turning off 20%. Number one is we're pushing away price-sensitive customers. I would consider these people to be less loyal. Number two, we are pushing away lower perceived value. We're reducing lower perceived value of Pair, of brand. Looking at the future, it's not worth it to have a lower perceived value, and also we're using premium materials, so our brand value needs to go up. And we're also pushing away discount focused mindset, so margin gets lower and lower eventually once people are always wanting discounts. So that was the reason behind our removal of our 20% discount. In terms of product, we've been always asking, is it product market fit or market to product fit? And we've been always conscious about our product, how it's made, what it's made out of. Again, in this world, we'll always get judged for what we do, but we want to make the best products possible. We really believe in product-led growth. If people really love the product and the brand and the story, they will stick around. So that's what we want to do in terms of the products that we push at Pair. And at the moment, our takeaway has been we've been building a product without thinking about the costs. So we've been telling ourselves we want to build the best product, but is it efficient for us? And we've been carelessly placing multiple based on the costs. So what I mean is we haven't been looking at the existing market price and see how we can get our costs down using our supply chain, because that's our biggest strength. But rather, we've been using our supply chain to create the best products and just placing multiples. Again, we're placing the best product, but again, we need to think about how the market reacts. So we're now pivoting to more like market to product fit. Reflection wise, been consuming too much rather creating and not shipping things out. As you may have noticed with the lack of posts I'm posting on LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube as well. Realize I don't really go back to the good podcast, to the good video, to the good blogs, but rather keep craving new information. Very much a shiny new object syndrome. So changing my methods a little bit, instead of 3 to 5 podcasts per week on a 1.5 or 1.75 play speed, I am choosing one podcast. I am digesting it. I'm chewing on it. I'm listening to it like at 1x speed until I memorize the core points. So these are the reflections that I have in terms of like consuming. I need to consume less and produce more. And secondly, I'm struggling with that evolving identity and skill gaps. So whenever we grow to a new phase, a new revenue target, new things that we have to do, I have this skill knowledge gap that I need to fill in. And usually it's a lack of skill. I haven't done it. I haven't had that experience. So I need to just get myself out there and gain that skill. And I realize I have this self-sabotage and identity change, identity crisis, where it plays a huge role on me. And some days when the revenue days are bad, it ruins you, like it really puts you down. But I realize it's just that lack of skill that's just pushing me away. So I just need to get in there, just get my hands dirty without thinking and just learn that skill, and my identity will be better. And during the bad days, I catch myself like refreshing Shopify page as if the performance will magically change. And I realize consumers aren't robots, right? And sometimes you have bad days, sometimes you have good days in business as well. So that's my reflection. And last one is like, I'm not trying to be an expert. So I'm just letting go of that expectation where everyone will be judging because I'm trying to be an expert, but rather I am sharing more in terms of I want to share my journey. So that's the reflection. Last one for me is that personal branding really ties into not trying to be an expert, but rather sharing your journey. I've been writing for almost a year now, not consistent, but quite regularly. And through that, met amazing people, met head of marketing at Woody, have met many other high-level players in the e-com space, people doing $10 million, $15 million a year. And this week I met with Josiah. It was an interesting talk. So like the connection that I'm able to make, even though I'm not trying to be a biggest YouTuber, I'm just whatever it is, but I'm just trying to share my thoughts, ideas, and it's actually it's a very net positive thing. And there is that, like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not an expert? But just being vulnerable helps me a lot. Also, I'm just putting things out there in the open, in the internet, asking with feedback loops. And this also helps me with clarity, with my thoughts. And once I get feedback from others, that has been an amazing thing that's been happening for me. So I'm just going to continue this. Yeah, so that's the wrap. And if you have anything that you want to talk about, any feedbacks about the video, just comment below. Yeah, like and comment, and that'll be a great thing for me. Cheers.